And so when I had this reality, this sober reality without the buzz, I was determined to walk this path. And this is when I began to recognize that satisfaction and joy emanate from within, okay? And the problem that so many people have is that they gravitate toward the things that they're used to. And so, and even if they're not working, and once that's used up, they're going to go ahead to the same type thing and continue and continue. And you're talking about 10, 20, 30, 40 years of living from moment of excitement to displeasure. Moment of excitement again to displeasure. It's sort of like playing the number. You know, that's why the number works so well, because you're thinking from the time you come up with I dreamed that number, I saw that license plate. From the time you come up with a number, you're excited. And then you go down to the place and you play the number, you're excited. All of when that number is pulled. And you didn't win, and then you're down. Until you go and get ready to play another number. So all your life you're living down. And then excited, down. Excited, down. Even when you win a particular number, so I'm excited, down. I mean, continuous. That's how we live. And so it's quite natural to believe this is how it is about our lives personally. And so we find that in relationships. We find that in when we're suffering dismally at our job and all. But on payday, it's exciting because I got all this money. But then 3, 4 days, 5 days into the next week, we're all depressed again. I mean, this is how we live our lives on this cycle. We have to come to a place where we can just stay up here. See, a lot of people say, you know, even when folks see folks that are trying to live up here, they say, oh, something just hadn't happened yet. You know, they throw that at you like, no, nothing has to happen. Now, we have to be realistic and pragmatic. Come on, people die, people get sick. The reality of life happens. If you've accepted that, then if somebody gets sick and passes away, then that's not something terrible happening. That's something inevitable. Like, who's going to live forever, man? Remember I was talking to this one guy, man. His mother had lived till she was like in her upper 90s, and she died, you know, and she wasn't even terribly sick, but she passed away. And he was like, why'd she have to leave? I'm like, well, what did you expect? How would it have been next year, you know? So there are certain things, if we want to be content, and I guess this is where we're starting, okay? Number one, if we want to be content, be realistic. Stuff is going to happen in life, but that doesn't diminish your contentment. It's just the reality of living in this world. I mean, people die. You know, the worst part for me is when people get sick and extended sickness. That's terrible. But even that is simply a reality of this world and this life in which we live, okay? So in order to find contentment, we have to be realistic. We have to be realistic about life, okay? And not put our emotions into something that we know will eventually go awry, okay? So that right there will wipe out a whole bunch of negativity. Come on. Man, you know, when you die, I mean, I feel when you're suffering, but when you die, I don't feel that anymore. Because even my love for you is that you're no longer suffering. I mean, it's not that deep. I'm just giving you my, it's the way I think. Some people think it's cold. I don't. Okay, they died. Everybody's going to die one day. That's how I feel. Okay, I felt it with my family. I felt it with other people's family. Sometimes when people are talking about death, I mean, I don't tell folks who are suffering through that, well, everybody dies, you know. Yeah, because my daughter would be like, Dad, don't say that. I wasn't going to say that. I mean, I'm smart enough not to understand everybody doesn't feel like I feel, and people are crushed emotionally. But that is my reality, and I'm suggesting we adapt that reality, because the same thing's going to happen to us one day. Your child is 3. After you're gone, hopefully, that child is going to grow up, and it's going to happen to them and their children. Everybody dies, okay? So don't be tripping over that. Contentment inside. I think perspective is important. Perspective, when you look at your job as simply the place that where your sustenance. I even pray on the way in the work every morning, and I'm just thankful for the sustenance that I have, the job that I have. And you know, I've worked for many years. I mean, I started off in the military. After that, went to the B&O Railroad. After that, went to NCR for like 13 years. And after that, the Postal Service for like 28 years. I mean, I've had some tough jobs in my life. But what's interesting is, while I was in the midst of the tough job, I was well. And I would find my wellness in the people that I'm there with, whether it was the military, whether it was the railroad, whether it was NCR, whether it was the Postal Service. There might be dismal conditions, but the people that I'm working with are all in the same condition I am. So don't focus on the condition. Man, this is only a few hours. I'm going to handle this I'm going to get paid, on 2 weeks. Just recognize you're not in there by yourself. It is not your life. It is how you are earning money. It's called work. So I'm not going to get upset because folks don't act right at work. I mean, I'll go there with you if I need to, but I'm not going to go too far. And work isn't always going to be easy. Hopefully, sometimes it is. But the purpose of work is to earn money for that paycheck. The purpose of work is not your life. Okay? Once you remove that from your psyche, you're going to be a whole lot better. Recognize the reality of life. Some people get sick, some people die, just things happen. When NCR shut down, I took a buyout. Man, people were like scrambling, trying to get the few jobs they had left. It was like the NFL draft, and I was going for a job that my supervisor was going for, and I'm black and she was white, so you knew I wasn't going to get that job. That was in the 90s at NCR. Come on now. So I just took a buyout. I signed a little paper saying I'd never sue them, and they gave me an extra amount of money. I left. People were telling me I was crazy. Are you crazy? Why are you leaving? I don't see anything for me here. I left. I was content. I had money that I took, that I spent, that I was living off of for 5 months. And the same week the money ran out, the post office called. I was never worried. I was never concerned. I was putting in applications, I put in 30 or 40 applications. I always got turned down still. Man, I took some of the money, took some kids from inner city kids to Washington, D.C. to a national youth conference. And I was like spending that money. I wasn't even really thinking too much about it. But I was content. Always be content within yourself. Doesn't matter what lot you're in. So I left NCR, went to the Postal Service, man. I made more money. I gave up my 3-piece suit, my trench coat, my hat with the feather in it, my briefcase for a mailman outfit. I lost 30 pounds, made more money. My twitch went away. Shoot, man. Just going. I'd been there about 17 or so years when Obama became president. Impressed. I'm going to go get an associate degree. 10 years later, I had an MBA. Just walking through life. People couldn't understand. I'd still go to work all day, an exhausting job, go to school on my off time. Why? Because work was not my life. Even school, although it kind of began to seem like it, school was not my life. My life was my wife, my kid, and going to church. That was my life. And prayer, and that whole thing, that was my life. And so as long as you stay focused and understand what your life is and improve your life, and that's where your strength is. So my job wasn't my life. School wasn't my life. But the parts that were my life, I improved, I focused on, I put myself into. And that's where I garnered my contentment from. My home. I love my home. I love to get home. I love the quiet. Maybe because of life, I don't have to go anywhere. I love being home. I love my family. I love interaction. And there's my contentment. So what are we saying? We're saying, as far as people are going to get sick, people are going to die. That isn't you. You don't make your job your life. You don't make any external thing your life. Drugs, alcohol, that doesn't help. That simply deadens the reality of what you're trying to flee. Okay? And I think in a nutshell, just to recognize that every emotion that will exude from you emanates from within you. So you have to find that peace. So maybe if I try to simplify it, by if we could just logically realize that any of the things that we think we want, any of the things that we think we need, we really don't. And even on a subconscious level, we don't. I think we've consciously determined these things. I'm going to need that to be happy. I need that to be happy. But the reality is, think about that. I'm going to need this to be happy. I'm going to need that to be happy. I'm going to need this person in my life to be happy. So what is the common denominator? Not the common denominator. The commonality from each of those statements is to be happy. So it's not like you need that. It's not like you need this over here. It's not like you need that thing or that person. What you need is to be happy. And you've simply consciously determined that those things will bring you happiness. And what I'm suggesting is that's what you have consciously determined. But subconsciously, the real you is just seeking to be happy. Okay? And so what I'm suggesting, just from this conversation, is that you recognize your real need right now is not all those things, that type car, that type person, this type house, that type job, all these things that many of them you'll never get anyway. So there's going to be a frustration there, because the moment you get her or him, it's not going to be long before you recognize, geez, they're kind of a mess. You're back to where you were again. You just want to be happy. And what I'm suggesting is this. How do you be happy? Now, what I'm telling you is just look at yourself. You have to want you to be happy. So if you want you to be happy, you have to be concerned about you. Now, I'm not saying not be concerned about the people you're in a relationship with. We're talking about a whole new thing. I'm talking about how do you bring this self-contentment up from within you out so that you experience it. Is recognizing that there's nothing out there that can bring you real joy. Real joy is long-term. Real joy is a state of being. You are well, okay? You are happy. Doesn't matter what the situation. I'm not saying you're not going to get mad every so often or upset every so often, but as far as it simply being the way that you are, the way about you, there's going to be a contentment. There's going to be a happiness. You're going to have people like I have with the guy at work. I know why you're happy all the time. Just evidently he was thinking about it. Why is Jarvis happy all the time? Because my happiness isn't based on my surroundings and my situation. My happiness is based on that which dwells within me, that person, that individual who I actually am, okay? And I want to be happy. So what do? So when you recognize, it's a long way around, but I think it's important. So you recognize then, that is you that wants to be happy, but your struggle has been, you haven't quite really figured out what's really going to make you happy. Just like that that guy on drugs, or that guy running trying to fly, you thought that was going to bring you happiness, but it's always just outside of your reach. What's going to bring you happiness is tending to you, okay? So once you stop smoking weed, once you stop drinking alcohol, you've just started tending to yourself, because your body is going to get healthier. I know there are proponents, weed proponents, especially nowadays, but just simply taking smoke into your lungs, you don't need a rocket science degree to figure out you're harming your body when you're taking smoke into your body. Alcohol is not good for you. You're dead in your brain. You're dead. I mean, if you're really trying to figure out you and the depths of you, how are you going to deaden your brain? How is that going to aid you? It's not, okay? So many of the things that we attempt to do, simply even for our recreation, are keeping us further away from really being satisfied. And the problem is we don't know it, because we just stay buzzed all the time. We just think, oh man, I'm happy. There's nothing more silly looking than being around a person who's high on weed or high on alcohol and you're not. Just being in their presence and looking at a look on their face. You recognize right then there's something wrong with it, because when your mind isn't challenged by the alcohol and the weed, the people who are look ridiculous to you, okay? But when you're high too, or you're drunk too, man, it's great. It's a wonderful thing. Well, think about that. That's the problem. Okay, so the remedy then. The remedy then is to begin tending to yourself. Okay, stop smoking that weed, stop drinking that alcohol, but then, start trying to eat right. Eat healthy foods. So now you are, see, as we are reaching out, grasping, trying to find things that we think are going to bring us happiness, we really don't know. And we find that out over the years the hard way. But what we do know is, will always bring us happiness is taking care of this. Taking care of this. Taking care of this body. The external part of who we are. As we can know without a shadow of a doubt, out of all the things we're not sure about that will bring us happiness, if we would just take care of and perfect this thing that we have charge over, it will definitely bring happiness. And you can always tell a person who is searching or has not quite discovered that true happiness because they've let themselves go. I mean, if you have a car, you got a real nice Jag or a real nice Cadillac or a real nice, whatever it is, your Mercedes, whatever it is you like, whatever you're driving, man, you're going to be putting armor all on the inside. You're going to be keeping those tires clean. Man, you're going to be taking care of making sure you got one of those renewable passes to go to the car wash whenever you feel like it. I mean, you're going to keep that thing clean. Why? Because you love your car. Same thing with your house. That's what you do with everything that you love. You take care of so well. Now look at your body. That's the answer. You're not taking care of you. You're thinking all these things, even that car, even that house, are going to bring you satisfaction. They won't. Take care of yourself. That's the one thing you know that will bring you satisfaction, is perfecting this thing right here. And I stumbled upon that, man. It took me to stop, getting that buzz before I realized it. But yeah, man, I didn't even go to college until I was 50 years old. I had a high school diploma. And I continued. I went straight through 10 years and got my MBA. Wow, who'd ever thought I could do that? Man, I was always, concerned with math. Man, I went through all the algebras. I went through accounting. I went through economics, all that crap. All that stuff. I made it. Never thought I would. Exercise, man. I began exercising and eating right. Now I'm going to be 64 this year. Every day I do 50 push-ups and a 40-minute martial art cardio. And I eat right. Because I'm taking care of this. This is where when I get in the morning, before work, man, I'll drop down and do 50 push-ups. Then I feel great, while I'm shaving and brushing my teeth, take a shower. Then I get in the shower, start putting lotion on my feet. I work my way all the way up to my head, piece by piece. You're healthy, you're well, longevity, strength, every piece. And then I go do my 40-minute workout, my martial art workout, 40-minute cardio. Then I prepare my food, my healthy foods for the day, and then I go to work. And I'm telling you, man, when I walk into work, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling good. And these are the people that see me say, I know why you're happy. No, you don't know why I'm happy all day. The reason I'm happy is because I'm taking care of myself. That stuff, they talk about endorphins, that might be part of it too. You just feel great when you're taking care of yourself. And when you're taking care, your finances are being taken care of, and you got money building up in the bank so that anytime a bill comes, you pay it. Anytime anything you really want, you can buy. And that's happiness. But that's more money. Because I'm not blowing it on frivolous stuff trying to find happiness, okay? You know what I spend most of my money on? Gas, but that's not most of my money. Most of my money I spend on healthy food. For real. I can take joy out of that. Walking through the grocery store. And this is what I do by myself. It's like, because it's my therapy. Man, I'm walking through the grocery store by myself, going down every aisle, buying everything that I want. And 90% of what I buy is healthy. So that's where I find joy and contentment, because I know what I'm getting right now is to benefit me, this body, okay? And that's what you need to take care of. See, a lot of times we go into relationships, go into marriage thinking, man, this man is going to make me whole, this woman is going to make me whole, and they don't. Why? Because you need to be whole already. You don't need to be a half person trying to be well. I got a buddy on Facebook, and he's a Christian, and I've known him for a long time, good guy. But he's always talking about what a man is supposed to do for the woman, and all this stuff. Now, man, a woman, you walk into that relationship whole. I don't mean like, I don't need no man. And I don't mean like, I don't mean that. But I just mean be whole within yourself. Be well within yourself. So you're not trying to be made whole by this individual, and neither the man for the woman. Be whole. There's nothing more healthy for a relationship than to two whole people coming together, as one and working together. Because their contentment is already there in and of themselves, and there is no expectation of fulfillment from this individual, expectation of fulfillment from this individual, just being two healthy, whole individuals growing together in a relationship. That's the key. And now I'm gonna suggest something here. Now, although I just spent all this time talking about how you don't find things to satisfy you, I would suggest, because in life we are going to put our hand to do things that are outside of just making ourselves healthy. Because we do enjoy interactions, we do enjoy doing things. So what I would suggest is doing something different, okay? First of all, don't do something destructive, but just do something different. And I've shared with you over the past few months now this whole scuba thing. Where I'm a certified scuba diver now. I scuba dive. I got my scuba diving certification 3 days before I turned 63 years old last year. And it's amazing. I never thought I'd do anything like that. Never thought of that. I was in the Air Force. We weren't trying to go under the water, but man, scuba diving is so amazing. It's like a whole new world, a whole new environment. And you're breathing underwater. And you have goggles on so you're clearly seeing everything, and you're just moving and gliding through the water. It is amazing. It's like an open eye. They talk about walking meditation. Well, it's truly like a meditation. It's such a peaceful place. Even the water has, most of our body's made up of water. Even the water experience has a therapeutic feel to it while you're in it. So to me then, the scuba diving thing is a contentment that I have stumbled upon because my daughter needed certification, and then she needed a dive partner, so I just volunteered, and then I'm certified, and man, look where I'm at now. So I'm suggesting is that even this scuba thing, what I've learned is really catering to me. It's embracing the peace of mind, the contentment, without a buzz, of even this new environment, this water world, and all the creatures that are swimming around in it. And it's just so peaceful, so wonderful, and it's for me, it's for my mind, for my body that I'm experiencing. and what I want to suggest is try scuba diving. I know especially black folks, we're like, what? We're never going to do anything like that. And I understand that. Not too many people, black folks, are scuba diving, but I would suggest really looking into it. But this is something that you could put your hand to do, that its benefit is for you and your body. There is no one calling the shots. No one, there's no pretense. There's no authority. You're just there, and it's just something else you're doing for your body. It's so wonderful. Change. Do it. Make an abrupt change. Stop going to this club down here looking for whatever. Stop doing this. Stop doing that. Try scuba diving. And send me an email. My email address will follow at the end of this program. And I'll see if we can hook you up with something. Who knows, man? You always need dive partners. They never want you to go scuba diving by yourself. And so you always have a partner. You always have some partner, somebody that you like to go diving with. And then you have the relationship of an individual with you, but there's no talking because you're underwater. It's cool. It's something, just something. It's just my suggestion. That's what I'm topping this off with. Try something new.